So here we are playing WCW Nitro on the PlayStation. And here's the title screen right here. Look at that. All the fire right there. It looks just like the real program WCW Nitro. Look at that. Now WCW Nitro was released on the PlayStation in '98. And around that time was probably when Warzone, WWF Warzone came out. And there was already plenty of wrestling games on the N64 that were obviously better games. Now, this game right here didn't quite get the respect that it deserved because it was arcade style. Now, first, let me be the first to point out the cons. The things that are not so good about this game. And, the first thing I would like to mention is the audio. While you're playing the game itself, when you're actually wrestling in a match, the background music gets annoying after a while. And also, the commentators basically say the same shit over and over and over again. And it gets old after a while. I never knew Alex Wright could actually powerbomb anyone. I've never seen him do that before. Wait, what the hell is he doing? What the hell was that? He actually threw Scott Hall over the side. Now he's dancing. Another con about the game is the limited moveset. There's not really a whole lot of moves for each wrestler. And some of them are basically the same. But again, it's an arcade-style wrestling game, so it's not a simulator. To be honest, it's actually appropriate for an arcade-style wrestling game. That clearly explains why Alex Wright is doing power bombs, because usually he would not be able to do something like that in real life. But yeah, arcade style. Another thing is that when the wrestlers grunt, it actually sounds like they stole the sound effects from Doom. I mean, listen to this. It doesn't sound quite the same, but I know for sure that I've heard that grunt sound in a shooter before. Maybe it was Quake, but it definitely sounds quite familiar. Now, the graphics I'm not going to complain about too much, but the only thing that you can really complain about is the crowd. They pretty much just stay dead still, and they don't move, and they pretty much make the same ambient crowd effect throughout the whole game, as well as taking pictures. They take a lot of pictures, as you can see there, all those camera flashes. What the hell is that? Alex Wright threw Eddie Guerrero over the top rope, and Eddie Guerrero got up like nothing happened. Did you see that? Yeah, that's another thing you can expect from this game, is you can beat the shit out of somebody and they'll get up like nothing happened, because it's arcade style. I know a lot of people complain about that, but hey, it is what it is. And also, there is no creator wrestler in this game, unfortunately. That would have been an interesting feature. However, let's take a look at some pros about this game. Now, first of all, the graphics on this game, I'm a fan of. I think the character models actually look pretty decent. And the various different arenas and the surroundings on each arena actually look not bad, for the exception of just the crowd doesn't react, or they just stay dead still. No, that's something I really can't complain about, because if you played Attitude or Warzone, it was basically the same over on their games too. If not worse, because on Warzone it looked like the crowd was a slanted piece of shit, pixelated looking mess. I mean, look at that. I mean, at least on Nitro you had the crowd taking pictures, but even on Warzone, the one guy taking pictures in the crowd, the camera flash looks like crap. I mean, look at that. But the actual ring itself, the stage, the actual barriers and the mats outside the ring, they actually look legit. They look pretty good. Now, the animation in the game is pretty fast. The characters actually move around fast. Wrestlers move much faster than the actual real thing on real TV. But again, I'm not going to complain about that, because that's actually an arcade-style wrestling game, so to each its own. The game is what it is, and it's actually doing a pretty good job for an arcade wrestling game. Now, another bonus I like about this game that's a pro, in my opinion, is that when you select your characters, you have bonus video clips of each wrestler. And they actually give you a little video message before you actually play the game, and I think that's actually pretty awesome for wrestling fans, such as myself. Now, unfortunately, there's no entrance for each wrestler in the game. There's no entrances at all. But instead, you have a loading screen that has graphics for each wrestler on the main roster, which is pretty awesome. I used to play the hell out of this game back in the day, and I owned WCW Nitro and WWF Warzone, and I played both pretty much equal. I definitely vividly remember playing Nitro with my cousin quite a bit. Now, one thing that is most important and heavily overlooked about WCW Nitro is the unlockable features in this game. The main roster that you see is limited, but there is a lot of characters that you can unlock in this game. Like, probably 3 times the amount of what you already have. It's insane. As you can see here, these are some of the unlockable characters, and they look like absolutely from a crazy fantasy land. You have a snowman, you have a ghost, you have a Santa Claus, you have a praying mantis, you actually have a T-Rex dinosaur, you have an actual bear. It's crazy. You actually have another couple of cool features here also, where you actually have the yellow and red Hulk Hogan, you have the classic Macho Man, the classic Sting, you have all the color commentators, you have the developer team actually put themselves in this game. This game is awesome with the full roster unlocked. Not only is there unlockable roster, but there's unlockable arenas that are like way over the top. I mean, check this out. You can actually do the YMCA dance in a disco level. What wrestling game have you ever seen that? I mean, this is awesome. Look at that. There's outdoor stages. There's stages inside of a honey's bee's nest. There's all kinds of stuff in this game that's like way over the top. There's one particular stage that's a graveyard bonus stage that's unlockable where it's kind of creepy. There's actually if you watch closely, there's a little kid that stands off to the side. And I always wonder, who the hell is that kid and why is he standing there? It always seemed very creepy. I mean, look at that. And then you had an actual backstage area where you actually had a wrestling ring. You had to actually wrestle in. It wasn't really a backstage area, but if you look carefully, there's actually gateway computer boxes in the background. That's actually pretty funny. There was an actual stage for hell, but if you want to really experience hell, wrestle at the circus with this clown. Look at that clown. That'll give you nightmares. And if you can't afford the LSD simulator for PlayStation, which costs an arm and a leg, don't worry. Just buy WCW Nitro. It has its own LSD simulator. Check that out. So overall, this game certainly wasn't perfect, but it sure was fun. And definitely sold quite a bit. To the extent of where WCW Thunder released afterwards. Now, we'll save that for another video. But yeah, this game was, in my opinion, awesome.